Is this gonna be like his movie? Is this even the Flash's movie?
Dude. Ben,
want some of that
Ezra
too.
Miller jacked? Was that a
Dude, he's been working out, man. Doing those jail crunches.
See, like, this
That looked
trailer looks a lot better. I think it looks visually a lot cooler.
Welcome to Backseat Directing,
Where we talk about movies, TV shows, comics, and more.
we're your hosts,
Andrew.
and Aaron.
And we post new episodes every Monday and Thursday.
And on this episode, we're reacting to the Flash trailer.
3, a 2, a 1, action.
All right, this is the second Flash trailer. It just dropped today, literally a few hours ago, and we're gonna go ahead and watch it and react to it live and then talk about it.
Yeah, this is the first episode where we're going to be back after my illness.
Yes, welcome back to the living, my friend. It's been a while since we've done this, and whenever we take a week off from recording, it feels like a month, a year. Yeah. So it's good to have you back.
I'm just glad to be alive, you know?
Yes. All right. Flash trailer 2 in 3, 2, 1. Action.
I lost my parents.
I like the fog.
I feel like, is there going to be any new footage? Like,
That pain
Just rearranged?
Still a cool shot.
made me who I am.
that's Michael Keaton's voice.
I spent
Yeah.
a lifetime.
Talking about the loss of his parents.
Is this going to be like his movie? Is this even the Flash's movie?
Dude, that...
Like how much?
Crime would bring my
Wait,
parents
4 suit, 5? Oh my god,
20 suits!
dude!
Cool redesign for the
Yeah.
logo.
Who's this guy? Who's that wearing red?
What's he doing in the Batman movie?
Parents in one day.
The Flash, man.
He lost 2 parents in one day.
His dad
This
went to
is
jail.
This is a tough story, you know.
This is crazy. This just looks like a CGI mess.
The slow motion, fast running again. Like, come on.
Okay, but the
Make it
sliding...
look like he's moving fast.
But the sliding looks cool. And the yellow...
That slide looked okay.
the yellow,
I
like...
guess. Zod looks cool.
the yellow over his eyes I like as well.
future.
At least his ship looks the same. You know, like sometimes when a different cinematographer's on, like
gonna switch it up.
Yeah, it looks completely different.
It's
She looks pretty cool.
She looks cool. I like her suit. I like a lot of the design physically.
Yeah.
I don't like this. I get that it's the...
Did he say,
Let's get nuts.
let's Scooby-Doo this shit? Come on. Oh, that slide was that slide good? I don't know.
I like it.
Oh,
No.
that was okay.
I like all the slides.
Yeah.
That slide was pretty cool too.
I have to undo what I did.
There's got to be some redeeming factors to the trailer.
Scars we have.
It looks like it's going to be really emotional.
I'm not meant to go back and fix them.
That was
cool. That was cool.
No, but your tragedy.
I did like the line in the beginning where he was like, "You found a way to bring your parents back." Like that's
Yeah.
what I've been trying to do this whole time.
the whole essence of Batman, you know?
Yeah.
I think...
Did you see that hit?
Yeah. Her suit looks really good.
Dude, his
Flash's suit looks
cape
really
looks
good.
so thin, didn't it?
Yeah.
Blocking those bullets.
Ben,
want
is
some of that
Ezra
too.
Miller jacked? Was that a...
Dude, he's been working out, man. Doing those jail crunches. All right, that was cool.
It's actually really cool. It's
That looked really
the
good.
way he's pulling the... See, like, this
That looked
trailer looks a lot better. I think it looks visually a lot cooler. What's this?
You're strapped to your parachutes.
Where's yours?
Where's yours? The classic. Captain America jumps out of the plane with no suit. Ooh, look at the
What was that?
the Batwing back there with the silhouette against the moon.
Okay,
That's
so we
pretty cool.
started and ended with Keaton's Batman.
Oh, the whole middle too. The whole middle as well.
This is like not they changed this to a Batman movie.
Heavy Batman.
Yeah,
and I
just like they did with the Man of Steel sequel.
I just saw a post the other day that was like, this is such a missed opportunity, and it's a picture of Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne in the beginning of Batman vs Superman, and then a picture of the Flash trailer, which is like hugest missed opportunity, which is saying something in the DCEU like book, is like when you watch Flashpoint Paradox and you're watching an animated movie or reading the comic, you're like, man, Jeffrey Dean Morgan would play the hell out of this role. Jeffrey Dean Morgan would be perfect for playing Thomas Wayne in this alternate universe. And then, holy crap, he's playing Thomas Wayne in Batman vs Superman. They're setting up something amazing. And then it's like, hey, here's Michael Keaton. Like, you want this, right?
Yeah. I heard rumors too that like maybe he is playing Thomas in this reality, but like
Which
that's
would be
not
all the
case.
more like, what the hell? Because he was Bruce Wayne.
Right. But it's not the case. He's Bruce Wayne just from a different time. So they're definitely changing the Flashpoint.
He definitely just... They should have just done what Flashpoint. I get it. I get it that people are going to say, well, you want them to just mimic the source material, like they can't have their own original ideas. In some instances, yes. In some instances, no. When it works out so perfect like this, and you could have Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who is a great actor and would be so perfect for the role, like his like gruff exterior, like he could play the like alcoholic, war-torn, gun-toting version of Batman. He would be so good. I want tickets to just that. I did forget the rest of
sign
the movie.
me up.
And plus, like you said, like this is hardly seeming like a Flash movie. This is not shaping up to be much of a Flash movie. There's so many characters.
Oh man, yeah.
You know my complaints with Marvel lately of them just shoehorning in new characters' backstories. Like that's what this movie seems like they're doing.
Yeah, the only thing that this movie is doing that is or not doing that's a big pet peeve of us is making a villain only movie.
Yeah. They're doing all the other tropes.
But everything else, like
If you watch or read the story of Flashpoint, the Superman is held captive in like this underground bunker where he has no access to the sun. So he's like this scrawny, shrimpy version of Superman, all like weakened without his Kryptonian cells having the ability to soak up the sun's solar energy, as explained in Man of Steel. He's got this super cool white suit on, and then when they come and find him and set him free, he's just like mentally deranged from being basically in solitary confinement for years, and he's like soaks in the energy and just boom, bursting lasers out of his eyes, indiscriminately destroying all these ships of soldiers and stuff like that from the New World Order. And it's so cool, such a cool storyline.
it's cool to like see him fly around and have like still the strength of Superman, but like be so small.
It's just they have so much of a mess with DC that they couldn't just bring Henry Cavill in and just do that like they should have been able to do.
Yeah.
Just bring Jeffrey Dean Morgan and have
Then
him
we could
be
really
Thomas
see
Wayne.
like the range of the character, having to be the same actor.
Instead, it's cool. It's cool to get the representation for Supergirl. It's cool to have Kara show up, but it's just such a missed
They could
opportunity.
still have her, right?
They could. Yeah. That's the thing.
You
But
could do both.
They're missing. They're trading opportunities instead of using the missed opportunities and adding things like they could, like you're saying. But I just think it's such a big loss that we're not getting Jeffrey Dean Morgan to be Thomas Wayne. I mean, Michael Keaton, I think the suit looks corny. I get that
Agreed.
it's the best that they could do at the time and whatever, the 80s, but it's
He
not
apparently
fit for
has gone through a bunch of renditions of it,
and still looks
and
the
it
same.
still looks.
They all look all
Yeah.
look the same.
Looks like he's just wearing leather suit like Catwoman or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be hard to see him in the same movie as Ben Affleck, whose suit looks so cool.
He's old. How old is he?
Elderly.
Like, I'm gonna look it up.
Ben Affleck's old to be playing Batman. Like, let alone Michael Keaton.
But he looks intimidating. He looks like he could fit the part of this like superhero. Who am I looking up again?
Michael Keaton's age.
Thank you.
I mean, he's what, 70?
71.
Oh my goodness. I was pretty on point with that guess, by the way, but
That was really good.
that is not young.
No.
I mean, as far as being Batman, I know that he's not going to be 71 years old in the story, but it's just he's so much more perfect to play the older.
It's going to be hard for him to not move like a 71-year-old. And when he's not, it's going to be clearly CGI.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a double too, but then like, what's the point?
Yeah.
It's just
a name at that point.
So it's just a cash grab, right? Is that why he's in this?
I have to admit that sometimes it looks really cool in the trailer when you get to see Batman with like the cape fully extended flying through the air. Or
Why couldn't it have been Affleck though?
It could have been. It could have been.
That would have looked just as cool, if not cooler.
It would have looked way cooler to me if it was Jeffrey Dean Morgan and they did like the kind of like accentuated gothic look of the Batman in that universe with the red. Like the red looks so cool, plus the guns. It would have been so awesome.
Yeah.
I think
that would have been a good change.
It's cool the way they're having him move, though. They're having him move very comic book-esque, very like Arkham game style. So I think once we see more of that, we can judge it better.
Yeah, this trailer did look, his movement looked better in this trailer than it did in the first one.
The special effects as a whole looked a lot better in this trailer than they did to me in the first one.
Yeah, I would agree.
I hope in the first one when their heels clash and they push off each other, I hope that they do some revamping on that scene just because like the explosion of electricity in that scene to me looks so like drawn on there. Like it does not look. Yeah, I do not like it.
Man, I hope moving forward in the new DCU, they change the style of his super speed. You know, where he is moving fast. Like they do it in the animated shows, you know, where he's like moving really fast. There's a little bit of motion blur around his face, but like you can still see his face really clear. So you can still have the screen time for the actor or whatever. But like it looks like he's moving really fast. In this, like, again, I can't tell. Is he moving really fast or is everything around him moving fast?
It's such a really cool opportunity in filmmaking to have a speedster. Like, there's so many cool creative things you can do. And I think that the Flash show takes advantage of a lot of them. But a TV show is very limited in budget, you know, that sometimes it does not look great. So the movie has the opportunity and the budget
to expand upon it.
To make it everything we want it to be.
Like Dash and The Incredibles. Do that. That looks great.
I think he looks awesome. Yeah, we've harped on the super speed a lot in the past. You like if you listen to the show, you know how we feel about super speed. I don't
like it, man. It just doesn't look good.
What was with that one scene though? It was Ezra Miller completely jacked and I don't know it. And the in the season, I think he's getting electrocuted or something.
I'm telling you, prison does things to you, man. There's not much else to do there. You know, just push-ups, sit-ups.
That's from the reshoots. I jacked bodies from the reshoots. Well, they're clearly him and the doppelganger. Barry and the doppelganger are wearing two completely different suits in that scene where they slide up, the three of them. Did you notice differences? Do you have one you prefer?
I can't think of like the differences of them.
It's like kind of looks to me like when you're looking at the screen, the one on the right hand side is like the darker colors, like kind of like the suit worn in the original iterations for the DCEU, where it's like he explains that it's made from like materials of a ship, so it doesn't overheat materials of like a rocket ship. And the suit on the left is like a more traditional Flash suit, like it kind of is just like the brighter red, and it's not as like metallic and hard looking. It looks more like a spandex style suit, which I kind of prefer. I think it looks really sleek and cool, the new suit, and I like the tones through it, the gold going, it's kind of like fluid the way that the gold line moves through, you know,
rather than like wires.
Really cool. Rather than those like wires, or rather than like a more like grid like approach, it just has that like
that's a different aspect of this, right? There's two flashes. There wasn't two flashes in Flashpoint, was there?
No. He kind of like takes over his self, like his life in that storyline.
Yeah. So
he actually has to go back and get his powers back, which I think is going to look like it's going to be a theme in this movie. So, I mean, potential spoiler alert, but this is kind of widely known in the world of like DC. In the Flashpoint storyline, he like saves his mom, and in that reality, since he saved his mom, you know, grandfather paradox, whatever you want to call it, the timeline pushes on, and now he does not have his powers. So Barry goes and finds Batman, because he knows Bruce Wayne is Batman, talks to him, and they replicate the experiment that gave him his powers, which is kind of like he basically strap him to a chair.
But that Batman is actually Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, that's Thomas Wayne in that storyline, which is way cooler, because in that storyline, since Barry's changed the whole timeline, now Bruce Wayne died as a child, Martha Wayne kind of turned into this Joker-esque character, and Thomas Wayne turned into a gun-toting alcoholic Batman. So cool. Brilliant writing, brilliant concept.
Suit looked amazing.
Yeah, it looks so cool. And so this Thomas Wayne in the comic helps him, which I think we're going to get in the movie with Bruce, getting him to get his power back, which basically is like this rigged up thing in the storyline where they just strap him to a chair, cover him in chemicals, and then use a lightning rod to strike him with lightning. And even though the first time it doesn't work, the second time he gets his powers back, and boom, speed force, boom, speed. So maybe we'll have to do that in this storyline. It looks like he's getting supercharged with electricity at one point, you know, like his skin's melting off and everything. I think that'll be a really cool story arc. This movie seems like it's going to have quite a few different story arcs, kind of like
Yeah.
the original Flashpoint story does. It seems like they're going to have a lot to cover in movie format.
Do we know how long this movie is?
I haven't seen a release runtime. We might be able to find that. If
Let me
you
see.
Search for it. I'm betting though that we're looking at least 2.5 hours long of a movie. Like with the reshoots and everything, they're going to have a lot of footage, and people are going to want it to be long. They're going to want to feel like something they've waited for is worthwhile. So I think they try to give people more that'll make it more than likely as long as possible. Just because this movie's been delayed like a decade. Like when did they started making this movie in like 2014 or something?
Yeah. It doesn't say, they don't have a specific time out yet, but estimations on the Google says like 2:30. You know?
They've definitely been working on this movie since at least Batman vs Superman, which is a crazy long time.
That's so crazy. Yeah, that was what, 2013?
Yeah, because they
14, 15, 16 is when that one came out.
They unveiled all the characters in that movie and showed their little video clips that Batman was trying to find.
Yeah.
And, Gal Gadot got her movie as Wonder Woman, and then there was no Flash movie, or the Aquaman movie happened for Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Cyborg and Flash just got their appearance in Justice League, but the Flash movie has been supposed to happen for ages.
Yeah, why did they not even do it before Justice League? It doesn't make any sense, man. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, doesn't this story feel like it should have been something that happened before Justice League? Before everyone teamed up together?
It does.
Maybe not. I don't know.
No, I mean,
maybe
not
because he
the
knows
Flashpoint
Batman.
story.
Yeah.
But
A Flash story.
a Flash story should have.
Yeah.
So what do you think? I mean, the trailer's a little bit, but what
All over the
what
place?
do you think is like going on? What do you think is going to happen in this movie?
I don't know. He's going to save the day.
But do you have a prediction? I'm not necessarily a prediction for the plot of the movie, but like,
I feel like Michael Keaton's going to be in it.
what do you
a
think?
lot.
What do you think is like the main driving fight? I mean, they're fighting Zod clearly, right?
Yeah,
I have
like
my expectation, but
Who's the main villain, basically?
I guess I would say probably the main impediment for this movie, or the main, like,
is getting back to their time.
yeah, like fixing time. And Zod's kind of like a secondary.
So you think they're
villain
going to
that?
try to go back in time to stop Barry from saving his mom?
I think that's kind of what happens in Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Barry stops Barry from changing the timeline.
Yeah. I mean,
So he has to, like Spider-Man and Spider-Man PS4, decide to let his mom die in order to save the world.
yeah.
In the comic, so like a brief overview of the Flashpoint comic, if people haven't heard of this, we've already discussed that Barry goes back in time, saves his mom, which has a butterfly effect to change the rest of the future. What you may not know is in the comic, this leads down the line to what we already talked about with Batman's family and huge repercussions for the world in the form of a giant, like basically World War III between the Atlanteans, the humans, and the people of Themyscira, the Amazons. That's what I'm looking for. So there's like this huge falling out between Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
So we're not going to see that.
It looks like they've replaced that entire plot line with.
I've heard rumors that Wonder Woman is in it.
But I still think they've replaced that entire plot line with Zod having beat Superman. So now Zod's like taking over the Earth, and that's like the apocalyptic World War III event is like going against this Kryptonian overlord. Seems like,
Yeah.
which is interesting. It fits for their universe. I think that was a good pivot.
It's good that they make changes to the original source material.
I think loosely good. I like that they are keeping it fresh for audiences, but how cool would it have been to see Jason Momoa fighting against Gal
yeah.
Gadot
I mean,
in
it's-
a war between their people?
It's good, like, creatively,
Yeah.
but at the same time, some of the things that they chose to change just are like, why?
Just because it's good creatively doesn't mean they're now writing a better story.
Yeah.
It's
certain aspects can be like an interesting change, like the Zod change.
I'm excited to see
It's
Michael
cool to
Shannon
see
and Zod again.
back. Yeah, exactly.
It would have been cooler to see a villainous Jason Momoa go up against a villainous Gal Gadot.
Or it would have been cool to see Henry Cavill lose to Zod, at least for like a 5-minute scene, and then we get to see him later as skinny Cavill,
That'd have been so cool.
That would have been awesome. It's like the reverse Captain America effect, And like in Civil War, how cool was it to see all the heroes fighting each other? Like, that's cool, you know? And this is a Flash movie with all of them in there fighting each other, just like the Captain America. It's all of them fighting each other. It would have been like a cool parallel.
It just seems like it's turned into like this strange Black Adam scenario where now there's like this random team up of...
He's probably in it. I don't know if you heard, but the hierarchy in DC changed.
Oh no. he's climbing up.
Could you imagine him like Zod's just flying through, and then just Black Adam comes and boom, lands right on top
force
of
him to the ground. Literally just beats him effortlessly.
Yeah.
But this has turned into...
I kill people.
Is it not like so... It's like a similar story to Black Adam. I mean, it's not a similar plot, but it's a similar narrative from the outside. It's like now it's this team-up movie of these random people. It's like Supergirl with two Flashes with Batman. Everything's got to be a team-up movie. Everything's got to be multiple heroes.
Seems like there is a lot going on.
Too much.
From the trailers. So hopefully the movie is like... Hopefully they showed us all of the like team up moments, and now the rest is like actually just all story based.
They're like, we don't have enough characters. Let's just put the Flash in again.
Yeah. What's wrong with two of them?
Oh goodness.
He can't get arrested twice, can he?
Double jeopardy. The Flash, double jeopardy. Can't try and put the same crime.
Please make it.
I think that we've dogged on this movie enough, though. I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised.
Yes. Sometimes that's the best movie theater experience, right? When you go in with low expectations and the movie ends up surprising you.
I'm just not buying into this world, which is kind of like me shooting myself in the foot before I even go into the theater. But I don't think it's 100% my fault.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't buy into this world until we started this podcast and felt like we had to watch all this or talk about all this stuff. Like before this podcast, which we started 6 months ago, I stopped watching after Batman vs. Superman. I was like, all right, that was enough. You know, like there was definitely cool parts in there, you know, seeing them fight, seeing them interact together and stuff. But like the story points just weren't there enough to make me want to keep watching. And again, this podcast was the only reason that made me do it.
This is just giving us a little bit of a taste of superhero content until the Batman 2 comes out.
Yes. Hopefully nothing interferes with that. And it's on its own island. And they can do what they want with it.
I will riot. I will be furious. Be in the streets.
Batman himself will have to come and stop you.
I've never had a cause that I've held a picket sign for. There's so many better things that I could have picked one up for. But this will be my
That'll
moment.
be it. Wearing our backseat directing shirts and all. Oh, man.
Do you have any more topics that you want to talk about for the Flash 2 trailer? You like it better than the first trailer?
Yes, it's better than the first trailer. I'm worried that they showed us everything. You know,
I mean, we've seen like so many minutes of footage already, like 5 minutes of footage.
I'm concerned with how much Batman is in it. Specifically Michael Keaton's version of Batman. It just doesn't seem like it fits to me. I don't know. You already had a Batman in this universe.
The trailer really aggressively opens with Michael Keaton's Batman.
And aggressively closes. Like that last scene where they're sitting on the thing, like that was so unnecessary to show us in the trailer. They literally just showed us a scene of him dropping from the sky. The shot beforehand. Like it was pointless to show us that back to back. Like we just saw the reveal of him flying through the sky, and now you show us the beginning of him about to fly through a different sky. Like, come on. You don't have to show us everything in the trailer. Leave us wanting more, you know?
I'm with you.
Hopefully they give us more in the movie and it ends up being really good, and then we do a podcast and we're like, oh my God, thank goodness we were wrong. This movie could be the best movie of the year. This is by far the best DCEU movie. Like, oh man, they're stopping the DCEU. Okay.
It's hard to make a judgment from a trailer. Like, I'm not going to say that I hate it from the trailer, but I want to see, we'll make a good video judgment when we finally get to watch the movie. We want to see like their movements and motions in full force, because what little clips we're getting of the motion, it looks really cool. It looks fast and smooth and fluid, especially for Batman. Mm-hmm. We're not fans, obviously, of the way that they've chosen to do their super speed, but there's lots of iterations. I mean, in the Snyder cut, you see like him flying around like after images of him catching all the items to save the people.
Yeah.
Maybe there's probably a dozen ways that they decide to show super speed in this movie overall. So we have a lot more to look forward to, a lot more to judge.
Supergirl looks cool.
She does look cool.
Yeah.
She's
I'm
going to be
excited to see her.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's a shining part of this movie.
Yeah,
you
she's
know,
got a lot to live up to because of Cavill, but
yeah,
she looks really cool.
Definitely. Any other points that you want to bring up for this, or should we stop talking bad about the Flash trailer?
I think we closed out on some compliments.
Okay, cool. Well, we post new episodes every Monday and Thursday. You can check them out on our YouTube channel. You can also check them out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you listen to your podcasts. If you could, head over to those channels and follow, subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot, helps us reach more people and build a bigger community where we can create and talk about these different topics. We post on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and Facebook every single day, so you can interact with us in the comments there as well.
Oh, I have one more thing before we go. I know that was like perfect closing material.
I did do like really good on that.
It.
But it's not always that smooth, and that was probably top 3 of my outros, and you're interrupting. Okay, what do you got?
Don't worry about it. So something that I have seen as a fan theory, but I noticed it myself too. But there's notably one of the berries is wearing kind of traditional Flash colors, and one of them's wearing more traditional Reverse Flash colors, which are similar colors, but has to do with the prominence of the colors in their outfit. So you'll see that one of the berries is wearing like predominantly yellow with linings of black on their jacket, and this would kind of, some people are saying could be foreshadowing of the presence of the Reverse Flash in this movie. And if one of the berries ends up being the Reverse Flash, then that is like prominently the villain of the Flashpoint, so the comic book. So it would make a lot of sense. So what do you think? Would you think it was cheesy if one of the berries turned out to be the villain? Would you think it'd be cool? I mean, it's not who the Reverse Flash is. The Reverse Flash is Eobard Thawne.
Yeah, they'd be changing.
Yeah, the source material
by a lot. I think it's really cool to see one of the Flash's most iconic villains, but I think there's just too much going on already in this movie that him fighting a villain that is the exact copy of himself. No thanks.
That's such a good point. Honestly, this already Zod is already the villain, and such a formidable villain at that they all seem to be fighting. To them throwing the Reverse Flash would just be like a hat on a hat on a hat. It'd be a lot. So although I think it would be really cool, especially to see
it's just another superhero trope, that the superhero has to fight a villain that has the same powers.
It just seems like, why would they not? Or would they not have the awareness to be like, these are specifically Reverse Flash colors, and the amount and content.
They're just getting us. They're just boiling our blood, they're just getting in our skin.
It just seems like a weird coincidence if it's not gonna.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if it is the Reverse Flash, or a version of.
It'd be cool to see a speedster villain, but I think you're absolutely right that it would be demonstrably negative for the plot of the movie overall.
Yeah. Well, we had a more positive way to end the show beforehand. And now here we are.
Again, thank you guys so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. Thanks for coming along for this ride for us. Let us know any Easter eggs that you notice in the trailer so that we can talk about it with you and have a conversation in the comments.
Yeah, point out the good parts, the things that you're excited about for this movie, and maybe it'll enlighten us a little bit, because we're definitely taking a negative stance towards this movie right now. But yeah, thanks for watching, and that's a wrap.